Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Winmau TV. Here we are with lockdown episode number 2, and we've got Mark Webster himself. Mark, first of all, how are you keeping during all this?
Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it? It's odd. I mean, I get my hour a day out with the dog. I mean, I've been practicing a lot, to be fair, so that's one good thing that's come of it. But and obviously my family at home, so that's good as well. But yeah, it's tough times for everyone, I think.
I'm guessing that you've been in the sport a long time and never known anything like this whatsoever.
Not just the sport, just in life in general, isn't it, Phil? I mean, when have we ever had anything like this? But yeah, it's causing a lot of problems throughout the world, isn't it? Not just sport, but yeah, then the PDC are doing their best to sort of try and rejig the rest of the year. But a big task ahead of them, I think.
We'll come on to that shortly, but first of all, obviously, during this lockdown period, is it important just for everyone's well-being just to try and keep yourself busy during these times as best people can, so you're not thinking about being confined to home and everything like that?
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? You keep yourself busy. I think we've been a bit lucky. The weather's been okay, hasn't it? So you can get outside, but yeah, in your garden and things like that. But yeah, keep busy, keep occupied. Keep talking to people, just to keep for your own sanity as well, and just listen to the advice and things. And hopefully we'll be back to normal sooner than we think.
You touched on the practice there as well. How's that going? And is that preparation for next year started, or have you sort of like given up on going back to it and just going to concentrate on your media commitments?
No. I go back and with the intention to win a tour card. I mean, that was always my plan. I'm going to stick to him. I've been practicing a lot, to be fair. I kind of dithered over January and February, but had a few exhibitions. I've had some patchy stuff, but playing okay. Good thing is I've got time on my side, haven't I? I'm not working. I'm literally working towards next January. So I suppose if there's ever a time to take a year off, I picked the best one, really.
I was to say, yeah, touching on that, it must be gutting for people like Wayne Warren and Peter Wright, world champions, and probably the worst year ever in history to be a world champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Peter's overly concerned. It's a shame for Wayne because obviously they didn't hold up their end bargain with the prize money. So it'd be nice for Wayne to get about the country and get exhibitions so people could see him and sort of make up for the lost funds. But I feel sorry more for players like your David Palletts and your Jamie Lewis, Adrian Grays, who need a big year on the tour, and they're not going to get a full allocation of the tour, I don't think, to retain their tour card. So, but it is what it is, and those guys have got to knuckle down when the tour comes back on. But it poses problems for every player in every part of the rankings, and it's going to be interesting to see what the remainder of the season holds.
You just touched on the rankings there, and like you say, players are defending lots of money or need big runs to keep their tour cards. Could we see a potential ranking freeze at some point, or something on the lines of maybe the season extended into next year so people don't lose their tour card come the World Championships?
I don't know how you do it, Phil. I mean, that's what I said earlier. The PDC have got a real task on their hands, and they're going to look after the players. They've already sort of illustrated that along with the PDPA, which is there's some money aside from, which is really good. But I don't know if they prolong the season, do they put Q School back and things like that? It's tough, isn't it? Because you've got to make way for new players, and players like me want to come back. But yeah, they've got. I don't envy their task. They've got a lot of things to sort out, but I'm sure the PDC will have plans. I mean, they'll never. You can never cater for this, but they'll sort something out, I'm sure, and hopefully at the back end of this year we'll have a bit more clearance on what's happening.
Obviously, the PDC with Matt and Barry and Dave and everyone doing a fantastic job. But things like the Premier League, is it weird seeing Premier League dates now dotted around all over different months of the calendar as well?
Yeah, it's strange. Obviously, I keep an eye on them because I'm working. I was due to work Berlin, and I was due to work at the finals as well. So, I mean, it's looking like the finals will be Newcastle if it goes ahead now. And I was chatting to Chris Dobie actually the other day, and he's a bit gutted because it was his turn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how he'll probably still play, but he won't play in Newcastle. But yeah, it's just strange, isn't it? Seeing the dates dotted around. You think you've got a Premier League night on the Thursday, then you're off to Ireland for the Grand Prix. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
It's just strange, isn't it? But it is what it is. I mean, like the PDC are rescheduling dates, and hopefully these dates come off and we can just resume the season.
Looking ahead, the match play is the big one on the horizon that everyone is now talking about. A couple of points on this. One, do you think the match play is a realistic target for us to start again? And two, if there were no darts between now and July, is it fair that the match play goes ahead under the current qualifying criteria, do you think? Or do you think that's going to have to be rejigged?
No, I think you're going to have to go with what you've done, haven't you? Now it's probably fair in the sense everybody's played the same, had the same opportunities, but you're cutting well short, aren't you? I mean, and then you'd have to cut the ranking off at when we stopped and put them in, but yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? What
Yeah,
do you do? What are the guarantees if you had those competitions that these players are going to pick up money and get themselves in the match play? So yeah, I mean, I hope we can get back underway with the match play. I mean, but it's obviously it's a small, intimate crowd, but it's still a large crowd, and whether they'll relax the rules by then, we don't know. But it'd be a shame if we didn't have the World Match Play to get the season back started. Really.
I'm guessing there's been a lot of talk as well about sport behind closed doors, but darts is one of those sports that just wouldn't work, especially TV tournaments with no crowd, no atmosphere, would it?
No, it wouldn't. I mean, not a TV event. No, I mean we play a lot of stuff behind closed doors. You might say closed doors are ranking events. You know, your Barnsley's, your Wigans, your Milton Keynes. We used to play one in Cromden Park years ago, but you couldn't take it to a TV event. You couldn't set up that arena to play it. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously they wouldn't do that, but yeah, it would be strange. And there's a lot of revenue generated by crowds. And would you want to sponsor an event without the coverage and things like that? So yeah, it's a tough call, but I think the PDC will definitely get it right, and we'll be back up and running. That is for sure.
When we are back up and running, everything's back to so-called, as we say, normal in inverted commas, because I don't think life will be as normal as what we've seen here. How will this affect the sport going forward, do you think? Obviously, is it going to take time to recover from this, or do you think we'll be somewhere near where we left off when we get back?
No, there's going to be an element of recovery needed, but I'm sure they'll, for what Barry and the PDC have done with darts, they've taken it from nothing. Well, I say nothing, but the prize money is phenomenal. So a little setback here and there, Barry and the PDC will deal with. But this is obviously, you just can't do anything about this, and they'll obviously be talking and planning stuff, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'm sure we'll be fine.
And as well, looking forward, obviously, your calendar, what's that like for the rest of the year? I'm guessing you don't know too much, but practice-wise, when do you really ramp up and start getting ready for your big goals?
Yeah, well, obviously, the plan was to sort of ramp up sort of middle of the year where you can play a few more exhibitions. It's going to start dipping in some comps and stuff, but obviously that's off the schedule at the minute. But yeah, literally just practicing in my dart room at the minute. That's all I can do. It's all any player can do. So I'm just doing that at the minute, and luckily I've got time on my side. I mean, I'd like to think it's clear by January, so I know when I'm coming back, where all the other players don't know. So it's yeah, it's strange, but like I said, I'm probably at an advantage in a way that I've got a definite date when I can return and try and return.
Is that tough practice on your own? Because I know we see on social media like Ian White and Michael Smith always practice together. I know there's many more around the country. Is that tough practicing on your own?
It can be. It's getting rid of distractions, isn't it? Because you've got the temptation to watch telly, but at the minute there's no live football or anything. That's normally a thing for me. You start watching football and you get drawn into a game rather than practicing. But no, I practice a lot on my own. To be fair, I mean, I meet my mate in town who's pretty good as well, but he's obviously we try and play online and stuff if we can. But no, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, each their own. I used to practice with David Pallett, which was probably my favourite dart practice partner, but met a girl and moved down south, then he ditched me. So on my own now.
Mark, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you here. And like we say, stay safe up there, mate. And thank you very much for taking time out to talk to Winmau TV as always.
Cheers, Phil. Take care, mate.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah.